Canes fans, what's up? What's up, man? It's been a while. Canes fan. It's been a minute, man. New city, new location. I just made a move across the country. Had to do all kind of stuff, man. Put my house up for rent and get settled into my new locale. But I'm closer to home, so I'm closer to my family. So that's a positive. But real quick, man, I just wanted to talk about that game last night. Look, it's 2019 season. There's no moral victories. I don't believe in moral victories, man. You're either good enough to go out there and win or you're not. Moral victories are for programs that don't have national championships and can't put guys in the NFL. Miami, we don't do moral victories. Miami should have won that game. They shot themselves in the foot. They gave that game away. Yes, there was horrible officiating. That no call on the false start by the Florida Gators to give them that fourth down conversion when it was 4th and 5, that was a pivotal play in the game. But my main beef with the game was the offensive line play. And it might speak to something greater in our society in terms of how we coddle young people, how we treat young people. And I could be wrong, man. Look, I'm speculating. But at what point do you say, hey, you know what? Never mind shaking the kids' confidence. We need to pull these guys and replace them because those two offensive tackles, they were trash. They gave up 10 sacks. Not rattling a kid's confidence and letting him know that you have faith in him, trying to show that you have faith in a player. I could see that after giving up 2, 3 sacks, maybe even 4. But by the 5th sack, that left tackle gave up, I think that left tackle, was it Williamson? Not Williamson. I can't remember his name right now. Zion. I can't remember his name right now, man. I just woke up. But anyway, that kid gave up like 6 sacks, man. That left tackle. At what point do you say, hey, you know what? This kid, these two freshman tackles, they may have performed better in practice. They may have performed better during the scrimmage, but for the sake of having a stopgap and playing it safe, I don't know what they saw from the upperclassmen linemen in scrimmage and in the practices that absolutely solidified their decision, the coach's decision to not only start them in a big game season opener like this, but to keep them in there after giving up the amount of sacks that they did. Like, at what point do you say, hey, you know what? You're on the bench. You're done. Yeah, I'm trying to show you have confidence in you, you know what I mean? And trying to show you that we got faith in your abilities and your ceiling, but we're not going to coddle you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I don't care how green you are, you know what I mean, or how new you are. You can't give up 10 sacks, man, in a game. And with the majority of those sacks coming from the ends. You know what I mean? The interior line was straight. I mean, besides the fact that he, looks like we're not going to have much of a running game this season, that they could open up the gaps in between the tackles, but that interior line, hopefully they'll develop and get better as the season goes on, and we'll have ourselves an interior run game. You know what I mean? But them tackles, man, it's gonna be a long season. I mean, to me, I would have been like, you know what? Our upperclassmen, our other offensive tackles, they might not have shown what we wanted to see in practice in the scrimmages, but they have game experience. Those guys played last year. And forgive me right now, I can't recall any of the names right now. Herbert and what's a couple of other guys, but anyway, they even got rid of Brown. Like at least he had some experience. These guys. That's my main beef with the game, man. That's like the only. Because Jarren Williams, he showed that he had poise. I think they did right in choosing him and picking him. Maybe N'Kosi Perry would have made a difference, but I doubt it. With that offensive line, Jarren Williams showing that he's just as athletic and he's got a bigger arm than N'Kosi Perry. The kid can make all the throws and he can thread the needle. Our skill players, Jeff Thomas can't be dropping passes like that. Jeff, he's showing flashes, man. If he gets in a rhythm and he can improve those hands, he can be clutch. Obviously, our tight ends, tight end it is what it is. Our defense since 2016, ladies and gentlemen, has been a championship level defense. They've been championship caliber. So I'm not surprised that the defense played overall as well as they played season opener. They had Crisco oil in their hands for the first part of the game. The tackling was not that good. The tackling sucked, but I'm going to chalk that up to it being the first game of the season and them guys not getting in rhythm. And I do have faith that over the next couple of weeks, Manny Diaz will correct that issue, that issue of basic tackling and tackling drills and not having the tackling down. I know they're being more cautious about injuries and stuff like that during practices with the tackling, but that the arm tackling and trying to bump them with the shoulder pads and stuff, that's got to change, and I think that will change. I'm not worried about the defense this season. It's a championship level defense. It's been that way for the past 3 seasons. I think it's going to continue to be a championship level defense. The key is the offense, and right now, from just off of one game, from what I've seen off of one game, what's going to cost us wins this season are our left tackle and our right tackle, because they are, they're like rice paper. You can just walk right through them. And, the penalties are going to cost us a lot of yards. We need to improve on field position and special teams. You know what I mean? I think this had to be the reason why we brought that lad in from Australia. You know what I mean? That's got to improve. So special teams and offensive line play are going to be the keys. And when I say offensive line play, particularly offensive tackle play, are going to be the keys to success this season. Our season is going to ride on that, man. I don't think the quarterback is an issue anymore. This kid is talented. I think the quarterback coaching is better. The play calling obviously is better. The type of offenses and schemes that we got is much more complex. No more Tecmo Bowl offense. No more riding the whole season on 8 plays. No more, no more running it up the gut and between the tackles 3 times in a row for a total gain of 6 yards. I can appreciate that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's still a loss. And really, and we lost. You can look, the 4th down conversions, the bad officiating. There was bad officiating on both ends. Both teams got crappy calls and no calls, but obviously more so it affected the Canes more. It was more so on the Canes, but what cost us was giving up 10 sacks and 125 yards in penalties, primarily because of our offensive line. At what point do you say, hey, you know what? These kids are just too rattled. Their nerves are too rattled. This is too big for them. They practice and scrimmage better than the upperclassmen, but let's put these kids on the bench and put the guys with the game experience in there. Because at the very minimum, they've got game experience. And they're not going to jump and false start just because the crowd noise rises a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my rant. That's my rant. You guys, chime in, tell me what you think. I wasn't able to make it to the game. I'm working. I'm just getting settled in a new place. Yeah, you know what? I'm within driving distance, and so I will be hitting up some home games this season. I might even. I'm kind of in a good spot. You know what I mean? Where I'm at. Here in Georgia now. So I can actually drive to a couple of away games too. So once I get my shit together and get everything out of these boxes and unpacked. You know what I mean? So listen, guys, tell me what you think. Canes fam, it's good to be back. And yeah, man, just voice your opinions. I think this is going to be a good season. But let's remember, it's a new head coach, even though he's not new to the program. New head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new scheme, new starters, new players. You know, realistically speaking, in that kind of scenario, anything over 7 wins is a bonus. Anything over 7 wins is a bonus. But when you have games that close against the overhyped, overrated Florida Gators, who is supposed to have the best defense in the nation and ranked top 10 and going to win the SEC, the division SEC this year, you know, we gave that game away to them. We should have beat them. Okay, there's no excuses, no moral victories. Games like that, we have to win. Games like that, we have to win. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. Need to tighten that coaching up. All right, guys. Canes fam, have a great week. See you in a couple of weeks when we play UNC. Peace.